and listen to our antics later on.
And then also, we're not offended. So if you want to exchange it, you can always, return it to Amazon.
It's just fine. No, it's fine. Okay. It's fine. It really helped me a lot. I was like, oh, it's here. But the weird part was I ordered something from Amazon like way back at the beginning of the month, and they've been telling me for like 3 days straight, it's coming. It's gonna arrive by 8:00, and it hasn't arrived. So when your box came, I thought it was that, and I'm like,
no,
I was happy, but I was kind of disappointed. Like, where's the thing you said was coming? But today they promised me it's gonna be here at 8. So who knows?
I'll believe it when I see it, right?
Exactly right. And if I don't see it by 8, then I get to go back tomorrow and request a refund. So
good.
How's everything? Did you get all the stuff settled with all the Cerritos College news and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're not going to have, because I was thinking they probably wouldn't have the AP, 120 and 150 online. And I was hoping they would, because I'm a TA now for AP 120. So I was really hoping it would be live, because I'm so much better live in person at explaining things. So I've got to figure out a way to work with the computer to help students. So I'll worry about that when I'm, in summer session. And then they're thinking about maybe doing microbiology on campus, which would be awesome, because at least I'll have one class that the lab will be on campus.
Well, yeah, they're thinking about putting the labs on campus is what I heard, but none of the lectures.
But what I heard, oh my gosh, did I lose my thing? I heard that they're not doing the anatomy and physiology labs online.
Oh, okay.
Just the.
Do you need me to put up the practice exam?
Yeah, if we could get started on that. And then I'm hoping, I don't know, because today's like my best day to work.
Right.
If we can do an hour now, and I don't know if we can take a break and do another hour later.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's problematic.
I was trying to find my camera guide thing I threw off of my camera because I want to shut it off. I'll just turn it off. Okay.
I can ask to turn off your camera, but I can't. Let me see if I can do that. But I have to stop sharing. I'm not seeing it right now.
Can you still see me?
I'm sharing the screen, so I'd have to let me stop sharing and then I'll come back and see. Hold on. Stop sharing. There we go. No, you're let me see. No, your camera's off.
Okay. All right.
Let me go back and share the So do you just want to go through and do?
Yeah.
Because I did. Okay, so are you good with the first one? I mean,
nope.
No. Okay.
Honestly, Shauna, I haven't even looked at it.
Okay.
But this is the one I know I struggled with because it's the weighted thing. I know I struggled with this on our very first exam.
Okay.
Or second exam.
So the grades actually, the letters tell you the weight indirectly, because the weight is actually the credit hours that you have, but the grades themselves, you can't find your grade point average unless you turn those grades into numbers.
Okay.
Which is why you've got the A is equal to 4, B is equal to 3,
okay,
C is equal to 2, D is equal to 1, and F is 0. Okay. So basically, this student got a B, a C, a B, an A, and a D. That means they got a 3.
So they got so the 3, 3, 4, 4, and 1 are their grades.
No, those are the credit hours. Oh. These courses had corresponding numbers of credit hours. So essentially what happens is those grades, you have to turn them into numbers. So every B is 3 points, every C is 2 points, and then every A is 4 points, and every D is 1 point. Okay.
Okay, so these courses have so a student earns grades of B, C, B, A, and D. These courses had the corresponding credits of, so the 3 goes with the B, the 3 goes with the C, the 4 goes with the B, and the 4 goes with the A, and the 1 goes with the D. Is that how my chart would be set up?
Okay, so the first B is a 3 and it has 3 credit hours, right? So
Okay,
that means you would have, I'm sorry?
Okay, great. I'm just trying to make a chart so it makes more sense to me.
So first start with what each grade is, because that's the only column you don't have. So the B is a 3, the C is a 2, the B is a 3, the A is a 4, and the D is a 1.
Okay, so A, B, C, B, A, and D, and 4 and 1. Okay.
Yeah, so now you put in the respective credit hours next to each one. Those are the ones that he gave you.
Okay. And so that is going to be, the credit hours are as follows. That's going to be 3, 3, 4, 4, and 1. Okay.
Right. And then to get your grade points, you're going to multiply the X, which is the first column of numbers that were your grades, by the credit hours, which is the weight. The credit hours are your weights.
Okay, so I'll do 3 times 3 for the top line.
Right, so that's going to be 9.
Okay, great. I'm glad you know that because I'm like, I don't know what these. I have to get my calculator. Okay, 9.
I think you can handle that one. That one's not so bad. I sent you a picture of it.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna work on these, and I'm gonna send. I got to like part E of number 2 before you called, so I'm planning to work them all out and then send them to you and Christy. I just didn't have a chance to do that.
Oh, you're fine.
The last hour.
I appreciate you meeting me today because I mean,
No worries.
I'm bummed that Christy's not feeling well, but I need to keep going because I need an A in this class. Oh, she got a 93 on the test.
Oh, congratulations! Yeah, very nice.
Are you there? That's cool. Okay, yeah. So now that I have all those made up, then I just add them together.
Add them all.
And divide by the number of classes.
Well, okay, so you have to add up all the grade points, which is the last column, okay?
Okay.
And add up all of the credit hours. Not the number of lines you have. Add up the number of credit hours. So add up both of those columns. So if you add up the grade points, what do you get?
The grade point, I get 44.
Okay, so now add up the column next to it, the credit hours. Tell me what you get.
15.
Right. Now to get the GPA, you take the total grade points that you earned, which is what?
Total grade points is 44.
And you divide that by the total number of credit hours you have, which is?
15.
And if you do that, you get what?
44 divided by 15 equals 2.93 bar.
Okay, so 2.93. So if the GPA...
I would have a heart attack if that was my GPA.
If the dean's list requires a GPA of 3 or greater, did the student make the dean's list? So he did not, because his GPA was a high enough. Okay?
Perfect.
Do you understand now where it's coming from?
Yes, thank you.
So anytime you're doing grades,
mm-hmm.
the points that you get assigned, those are Your grade. Your credit hours is the weight.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. All right, number 2, environmental scientists measure the greenhouse gas emission of sample cars. The amounts are listed below in tons per year, expressed as CO2 equivalents. The numbers. Find the mean, median, mode, range, mid-range, variance, and standard deviation. So this one I can plug into my calculator, right?
Well, yeah, you can. I did not, well, I did, but I also worked it out. So I don't know if,
Well, let's do both. So I'll do the calculator really fast because then we can compare it. So he sometimes asks us to show our work, so I want to make sure I can solve it without doing it in the calculator. Okay, so the mean is 7.6. Is that what you got?
that's what I got. Uh-huh.
Okay, the median is 7.3.
Correct. Uh-huh. Now
Median
the mode, it's not
mode
going to give you.
is, no, the mode you go in order, or it's the number that pops up the most. So 7.2, nope, 7.1, nope, 7.4, 7.2 I have twice, 7.9, 6.5, 8.2, 9.3. So that's going to be 7.2.
7.2 because it occurs the most number of times. Right.
Mm-hmm. The range, I don't remember the range.
Range is the maximum minus the minimum.
Max minus min. So that's going to be 9.3 minus 7.1.
Minus 6.5. Isn't that 6.5?
Oh, yeah, 6.5. 6.5. 6.5 equals 2.8.
Yeah, that's what I got.
And then mid-range,
Do you remember what that formula is?
is that just the middle number?
No, the middle number
Okay.
would be the median.
Okay.
The mid-range finds the middle in a different way. You add the high number plus the low number, so you add them together.
High
So
number
minimum plus, yeah, high,
low
the
number.
minimum
So
plus the
9.3.
max, or the max plus the min, either way. Add them
Okay.
together.
Then
And then
divide by 2.
the sum by 2, right?
Okay, fit equals 15.8 divided by 2 equals 7.9.
That's what I got. Uh-huh.
Okay, and then the variance. How do you do that one again? Oh my God, I'm so rusty.
If you're doing now, the variance depends. There's a couple of different formulas to get the variance, but if you're doing it on the calculator, go to stat calc,
Mm-hmm.
1 var stat.
1 bar stat.
Stat calc, 1 var stat, and then you can calculate it for that, and you're looking for the sample. So this is going to be
Wait, stat, calc, 1 var stat, list 1.
Right.
And then which number is it?
Well, on that list of numbers, you see how you have SX in the middle of the screen?
Yes.
That's your standard deviation. Your variance is you square that number. So that you're looking at the standard deviation, which is 0.8585702. Or 0.1.
Okay. So my standard deviation is 0.859, right? And then I'd square it. So
Right.
0.859 squared.
Uh-huh.
So 0.859 squared. That equals 0.738.
Let me see. 0.859 squared. So what did you say? 738? That's right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. And then standard deviation is given. So I don't need to use formulas for the mean,
Well,
median,
you
mode, or
can. I'm working it out right now. It takes a minute to work this out. So I'm doing the work. It involves x squared, the sum of x squared, and the sum of x.
Okay.
Hello?
So, hi,
Oh.
can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh.
I thought I
So do
had
we want
lost
to
you.
do 3 then right now?
If you want, sure.
Yeah, let's do 3, and I'm going to circle 2 for the longer solve. Okay. Number 3.
Can you
SAT
see?
scores
Or
of
do you
the
need to
mean.
scroll up some?
All I see is, yeah, there you go.
That
That's
better?
good. Okay, SAT scores have a mean of 1518, so I'm writing down the mean, a standard deviation of 325. Scores on the ACT test have a mean, so this is, sorry, SAT.
So you're comparing two.
Yeah, and then ACT. ACTs have a mean of 21.1 and a standard deviation of 4.8. Which is relatively better, a score of 130 on the, or sorry,
1030 on the
1030. Whoa, that would be really bad, 130. Okay, 1030 on the SAT, or a score of 14 on the ACT.
So you have basically two bell curves, but how are you going to compare them?
This is not good. This is all left my brain. Okay, I'm so glad you gave us this test, practice test.
How do you use, how do you compare relative position? What are the measures of relative position?
I don't know what relative position means. I'm going to assume that there's some math here, some multiplication of like something weird like 1518 times like 1030 divided by.
Well, how about if I give you a big hint, z-score?
Okay,
Z-score?
you would think that would help me, but it's not, I don't know.
Z-score, it's a formula, dear.
Okay, so what's the z-score formula?
So z is equal to the score minus the mean over the standard deviation, which is better known as x minus mu over sigma.
Okay.
Okay.
So then x
so you're gonna
is going to be the 1030 minus the mean, which is 1518 divided by 325. Right?
Hold on. 1030 on the SAT. So yeah, so 1030
minus
for
1518.
SAT, we're gonna have 1030 minus 1518 over 325. Remember that if you put it all in at once, you have to put parentheses around the difference.
Around the top?
Correct. So you
so parentheses 1030
should be a negative number.
Minus 15.
1030 minus 1518 divided by 325. I'm getting negative 1.50.
Same.
If I round this to 2. So, and then if I have the ACT, what is it, 10?
14 minus 21.1 divided by 4.8.
I have to write all this down, so I'm behind you, but yeah. Sigma.
No, I have to write it all down too. I do the same thing. But this will be good because then I want to make sure I'm reading it correctly.
So then here you get, for the ACT, we get Z is equal to the score that we got was what? 14.0. So X here was 14.0 and X here was 10.30. So we have 14.0 minus mu is 21.1 over 4.8, right? So Z is equal to 14.0 minus 21.1 over 4.8. Anonymous. I'll have to call you back later, Anonymous. Sorry. It might be a friend of mine, but it could also be a scammer because one of my friends has a restricted number, but I don't know. Negative 1.48. Negative 1.48. Okay, so I'm getting the second one is negative 1.48, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So if I'm reading this correctly, then negative 1.48 is lower than negative 1.50. So the 14 on the ACT is better than a 1030 on the SAT.
You're correct, but your reasoning is backwards. Your Z-score is actually negative 1.48 is less negative than negative 1.5, right? So
Okay.
negative 1.48 is actually larger because it's closer to 0. And because it's closer to 0, your score on the ACT is slightly better. So the student.
Okay, so yeah, say it. Sorry, go ahead.
Do you have a question?
No, go ahead and say what you were going to say. The student.
The student who received a score of 14.0 on the ACT has a better relative position because, hold on, better relative position because Z equals negative 1.48 is larger than Z equals negative 1.50. And in parentheses, I'm going to put Z is negative 1.48 is closer to 0. Now, if it's negative, if they're both negative, that's what you have to look for because the closer to 0 you are, the better off you are. If you're going to be negative, you'd rather be in as little debt as possible, right?
Right.
You'd rather owe somebody $1.48 than $1.50, right?
Totally.
But if you were positive, you're looking for, so you're always looking at the larger Z-score, right?
Mhm.
But if you're looking at two negatives, the larger Z-score is the one that's actually less negative, not more.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So that's why that works. Okay. Number 4. Okay, so we're gonna look at, oh my goodness, we have a lot of data. Okay. So do you remember how to do percentiles for this?
Nope.
Okay, well, that's why we're practicing, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what you want to do here is I would suggest putting it in your calculator
Okay.
and then sorting your list in ascending order. And the only reason is when you find percentile rank, you need the number of values below a certain number. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
easy if you put it all in, because this is not in order.
Okay.
This
I'll
list
do
is
that.
not in order. If it were, I wouldn't have you do it. But it says 4, 6, 14, 12, whoops, 922. That's going to make a difference. 4, 10, 18, 18, 22, 6, 6. Then you have 18, 12, 2, and 18. So I have a total of 15 numbers. Let me do start, sort ascending.
I got it too.
And then go ahead and write your numbers down on your, so it'll help you. It'll help you with what we're gonna do next. So 2, 4, 4, 6, 6, 6. There's 3 6s.
Bad news bears.
10, 12, 12. 14, 18, 18. But there's 3 18s as I'm seeing here. 4 18. Hold on. 12, 12. How many 12s? 2 12s, a 14, and 2, 3, 4. 4 18s. And a 4 18. And a 22. Let me count and make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so now we have, we want to know what? Find the percentile for the data value of 14. Okay, so we want to know the percentile rank for the value of 14. So the percentile rank, is the number of values below your X. So not the number of values to 0, but the number of values below X in your list, plus 0.5 divided.
Plus 0.5? Okay.
Divided by the total number of values in your list. Now, I don't know, some books have you multiply this by 100. So I don't know if he has you do that. You'll have to
I think he does.
look
Well,
back.
I know we've done some multiplication by 100.
So how, okay, so if you look at, we're looking for there's two questions here. The first one is the percentile for the data value of 14. So you go to 14.
Okay.
And you count the number of data values in your list that are lower than that.
So there are 9 below 14, 10 if you include 14.
No, you go below it. So there are 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 values below 14. Okay. So your percentile rank is going to be 9 plus 0.5. And then you count the total number of data values in your list.
15, right?
15. And then you take that fraction after you're done and multiply by 100. And that'll give you the percentile rank for 14. So now we're going to go to 9.5 divided by 15. And that's, I'm getting 63.33.
9 plus 0.5. I got 0.603 bar.
What did you add?
Nope, I got it right. Okay, so I got 9 point. I just read it wrong. I just redid it in my calculator. Yeah, 0.63 bar.
So it's 63.33 as the percentile. And they're not strictly percentages, so I don't know if he has you put a percent there, but it's 63.33 as the percentile. Okay? Now here, to do the actual percentile, that were not the rank, but the actual percentile. Mm-hmm. That's another formula.
Okay.
And so percentile is going to be, now you might have different letters in your book, I don't know, but what we normally use is N times P over 100. And that, what that gives you is the location in your list, because we have to look at the location of your list. So we have 15 values.
So that's N.
Your percentile, it's asking for 80, right? So P is going to be 80, no decimal yet. And you have 100 in the bottom. So to get the location in your list that will be your percentile, you're going to take 15, multiply 15 by 80, and divide that by 100. Now, I have to look up something here, because after I do that, there's a rule about what happens if you get a decimal versus what happens if you get a whole number.
Okay.
I think you round up. Let me look for it, but go ahead and do that calculation and I'll come right back. I'm just gonna go grab something on my shelf, because I don't want to give you the wrong information. All right. data. Creating name. This. The sample this. The yeah, so if, okay, so, let me see. So what did you get when you did that calculation?
12 even.
You got a 12. So if you get a 12, then what you have to do is, if it comes out exact, then you
Okay.
go to the 12th location on your list,
Okay.
the number in the 12th position. This is why you have to rank the data first.
Okay.
So the value that you want is going to be in, is the average of the values in that location and the next one. So it's the average of the value in location 12 and location 13. So you have the 12th number on your list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, is 18, right?
Yes.
And the 13th value on your list is also 18.
Okay.
And guess what? The average of those two
Is 18.
is 18. So 18 plus 18 divided by 2 gives you 18. It
Okay.
happens to be the same number because they're the same. But if you had like an 18 and say a 20, right, then you would add them up and you would get 19. So
And then
just
if it's a percent, like say it was 12.2 that I got or something.
then you would go to place 13.
Okay.
Whatever, if you get any kind of decimal whatsoever.
Yeah, I would do case 13 and 14 divide by.
No, you don't average it. If you get a decimal, you don't average. You go to the next place.
Oh, okay. So say I got 12.2, then I would go to the 13th spot,
Right.
which is 18, and I would just do 18 with no other math.
That's correct.
Okay.
But because it came out exact,
Got it.
you have to average it. Okay?
Okay, cool.
So we say that P with a subscript of 80 is 18.
Okay, perfect. So can we stop now and then do another hour later tonight?
Sure. What time? Like 6?
Yeah, 6 is perfect.
Okie dokie.
All right, I'll see you at 6.
Are you gonna, you can go ahead and pay me after we're done with the second one, if you want.
Okay, that sounds good.
That way you don't have to like pay twice or what.
Is it okay if I pay you tomorrow, Shauna, so I don't have to go to the bank because I got to transfer money?
Yeah, no
Okay,
worries.
I'll do that. I'll pay you tomorrow.
Like you don't know where I live now, so you know. No, but I heard the bad news is I heard that the what's her name, Ferrer, the lady in charge of LA County, the LA County health officer.
Yeah.
She's like almost sure. This is what I saw in the LA Times like a couple hours ago, that they might lock us down until July is what I heard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know, but I haven't.
I'm still super out in the world, though. I'm busier now than I was before.
Really? Yeah, so maybe that's a
Our
good
job.
thing for you as long as you stay healthy, right?
Yeah, I'm super, super safe, especially because there's a kid living in my house. So, like,
Right.
even though it's not seeming to impact children as much, it's just like the right thing to do. So, like, I shower every time I come home. I'm really safe with my, handling of everything when I'm out of the house.
Right.
So,
Do you disinfect? You use your car, I'm assuming, and not your bike, or you still
my
use
car, and I disinfect everything, and I have like a million wipes and eye gloves and a mask and like everything.
Yeah, I hear you. I believe you.
Yeah, I gear up. Cool. All right. Well, thank you. I'll talk to you at 6.
All right, we'll see you then, Jane. Take
Okay,
care.
bye.
Bye.